Happy daylight savings time, everyone. Yeah, it's pretty it's later than what I normally would have liked, but what can I say? Family time is thankfully taking priority in things I have in life, so that's nice. And it does have some benefits. For one, first let's get to my low and my high, my act of kindness. My low would be the fact that I am starting this video a little bit later. Seriously, you can hear I'm actually trying to boil water in the background, so you can kind of, hear that. Hello. I'm making hard-boiled eggs. Anyway, my high is I did spend time with family. And my act of kindness involves spending time with family because last night, my brother and his wife went out to dinner. They went to Texas Roadhouse. And, someone had to watch my nephews when they were asleep because they go to bed at like 7:30. So I helped my father, watch them. I say watch. Really, it's just a simple matter of the fact that, they're just asleep. If they wake up for whatever reason, for crying or whatever, someone's there to help them because, you can't leave a baby alone. So I guess I can talk about what I was going to talk about today. So good morning and happy Sunday, everybody. Let's see. Since Totally Not Mark talked about, brought up a new Naruto related video, I can share my thoughts on that particular part of the story as well. Because I did read it, because as you all know, I did read it, as it was being published weekly back in the actually I started reading around mid-2000s, or watching mid-2000s, but, I read it weekly up until it ended, and I actually kind of forgot how much happens in this part of the story, because, you have the 5 Kage summit after Sasuke tried to kidnap Killer Bee. You have, the plan of Madara revealed to the 5 Kage as the start of the 4th Great Ninja War, which is insane. And then there's the one thing that everyone talks about when they bring up this arc. And that's Sakura saying to Naruto that I love you. Now, at this point in the story, it's no secret that Naruto really always did have feelings for Sakura. And, Sakura always felt, she loved Sasuke. But, Sasuke is a bad guy, and Naruto did promise that, he was going to bring Sasuke home. And Sakura simply doesn't want Naruto to suffer anymore. Don't bring it upon yourself to bring him home, Stop. I love you. I'll be with you. That's fine. Now, at the time, a lot of people really were divided by this. Now, personally, I'm the kind of romantic guy where, like, okay, she realized who the bad guy really was, leave him. But that's not how it works in shonen manga. So what winds up happening is you have, sorry, I lost my place. You have, Naruto, who, who never goes back on his word. And you have Sakura trying to tell Naruto, listen, you don't have to do this anymore, but thankfully Naruto sees completely right through it, as he should. And that's actually one really cool thing about Naruto's character growth. Like, he didn't fall, if this was before the time skip, he would have went for Sakura, no questions asked. But he's older, he's wiser, and he's been through a lot already. Not to mention, he just became the hero of a village. Something that he always wanted. Well, really, he always wanted to be Kage, but you can't really be Kage without being first recognized by, all of your peers, of course. So, that was great. again, you have Madara. So basically, Sakura talking, saying Naruto, saying I love you to Naruto, it doesn't bother me at all. She did what she thought was best, even though technically it really wasn't very smart, but, you know, the saying goes, sometimes you do the wrong things for the right reasons. But I mean, if you're bothered by it, I can totally see that. Although I would highly recommend stop going after Totally Not Mark. He doesn't really deserve that. Let's see. It turns out Killer Bee was never captured, but he fights Kisame, and, you know, the Kage and Killer Bee decapitating Kisame, that was awesome. And, you know, Team 7 reuniting finally. And Naruto coming to the realization that, you know, if things were different, you know, Naruto probably would have been the bad guy and Sasuke would be the good guy. But we're dealt with what we're, excuse me, we're dealt with the hand we're given. Or we're given the hand we're dealt with. I mean, I forgot the saying goes, I'm sorry. But the point is, from this moment on, I hope you like war-related stuff, because pretty much the entirety of the rest of the Naruto series is a giant war. Like, really, like the preparations for war, before, during, and after the war. Like, seriously. I'm pretty sure that, because it was like 2010 when, you know, the big war I'm talking about started. And actually, it was like 2014, 2015 when it was over. So, yeah, you have like 200, almost 300 chapters. So, there you go. I hope you like talking about war stuff, considering the times we're living in now with Russia and Ukraine or whatever. But anyway, 5 Kage Summon arc. That was awesome. And now I can talk about the movie that I saw last night, which was Turning Red. Yeah, so this is the first movie I've seen in 2 years. A new release, that is. I mean, yeah, I'd seen, you know, old movies and such, but new movies? Never saw it. But, you know, in watching my nephews last night, my brother and his wife have Disney Plus, so, you know, Turning Red is, you know, live on, is, you know, on Disney, man, is, you know, on Disney Plus, whatever, so we started watching it. Now, I actually want to preface this by saying that, because I was watching this with my father, and my father leans into me, and he says, "This is the worst movie ever." I mean, my father, it's pretty obvious this movie is not meant to be watched by, you know, essentially, actually, yeah, I was going to say my dad, but he's also a grandfather now. Hey, if I'm an uncle, he's a grandfather. That makes perfect sense, right? So, we're watching Turning Red, and personally, I want to make one thing clear. I said this was the first movie I'd seen in 2 years. The last movie I saw was Onward, and that was also a Pixar movie. I guess it kind of makes sense that the first movies I do in 2 years is also a Pixar movie. I mean, yeah, I miss seeing No Way Home, and Jackass Forever, and Suicide Squad. But, honestly, this was good. I think this was worth waiting for. So, how do I like it? I think it's great. I mean, it takes place in 2002, which, you know, I was a kid in 2002. So already this appeals to me, you know, age-wise. Actually, 2002, I was 12. And I was graduating 6th grade. This girl is 13 years old and she's in 8th grade, so, If she actually lived in America, and this was real life, maybe. Nah, I'm only kidding. Nah, that's gross. I don't want to do that. But the point is, you know, 13, it's an awkward time in a person's life. You know, you're going through changes. You're finding interests. You know, the things you loved growing up, you know, aren't necessarily what you like now. It happens. but it's a learning opportunity. You can actually have the best of both worlds, and that's what this movie is trying to promote here. You can totally, discover a new side of yourself and decide you want to, embrace it and keep it, while still, respecting what you grew up with. That's a pretty good message to teach your kids. I highly recommend anyone, you ever watch. It's really good. But of course, I do have to talk about, because seriously, I was going to be like, because after I saw the movie, I'm like, oh my God, this movie has everything. It's got, angst, drama, mythical stuff, boy bands, Canada. Yeah, it took place in Canada. Which, sorry, hold on a second. Stay right here. I'm about to make hard-boiled eggs, and so, I thought I heard my pot starting to boil over. We don't want that. We really don't want that. I mean, technically, it's not that big a deal. It's only, boiling water, but, it's still an inconvenience, So, in watching Turning Red, it follows Mei Lin, who, again, is, 13 years old, in 8th grade. She's trying to be a good girl for her mom, and she's discovering her interests, and she loves being with her friends. But, essentially honestly, you could take out the whole panda thing, and it'd be a great, coming-of-age story. But you do have the giant red panda, and it's awesome. It's so cute and fluffy. Oh, man. Red panda, you know what? Because here's the thing. This is not the first time that I've actually seen an animated red panda in a movie. Ever see Kung Fu Panda? Yeah, Master Shifu. He's a red panda. Which is odd. I always thought he was a chinchilla. But, semantics. So, obviously when Mei Lin first transforms into the panda, it's emotion-based. If your emotions are triggered, you tend to transform into the panda. She then realizes that, her friends are what calm her down. I'll keep an eye on that today. But her friends, they're what make her, feel calm and cool and collected. And so, utilizing that, she tries to stay calm, getting ready for a concert, and there actually is a cure for, transforming into the panda. Because, on the red moon, it's supposed to, the spirit world opens, and, that's, the ritual used to, release the panda from you or something. But, in a bizarre twist of fate, spoilers, Mei Lin decides to keep it. Because, in hanging with her friends more often, and hold on, I'll be right back. I thought I'd turn the water down a little bit. Goodness me. Okay, that's a little better. Next time I will not use that much water. But a bizarre twist because, anyway, Mei Lin decides that, she wants to stay a panda. Because, she thought that she'd be a better person without having to sacrifice everything for it. And that's really cool and it's actually really deep and mature for a kid at that age. So, bravo. Although, it's not like she didn't have any second thoughts. Because obviously, her ancestor, the original red panda, appears. And Mei Lin's like, I'm not going to regret this, am I? She legit thought, man, what if this wasn't the right thing to do? But she got reassured. And, we live in a modern time. Yeah. It's just like what they said in Men in Black. A person is smart, but people collectively are, irrational. But there's also the fact that, you can be irrational in a good way. people love the panda. They embrace it. They find it all cute and cuddly, and they want to take pictures with it and stuff. That's really cool. I mean, a giant red panda that can, it's like mythical stuff. That's really neat. A lot of people really like that. Again, you can see both sides of the argument here. So, once again, man, Pixar has made another thought-provoking, really deep movie. In fact, honestly, I can legit see this movie getting a sequel. Like, this is actually like a movie where if they came up with a sequel, I'd love to see it be explored more. Honestly, it's the first time I felt that way since, seriously, Inside Out would make for a great sequel. Actually, they're both Pixar movies. I wonder if they could actually somehow make it so Riley from Inside Out and Malin from Turning Red somehow have a crossover. That'd be so cool. It'd be, you know what? It would be an emotionally driven movie. I dig it. I totally watch that. Seriously, like, has Pixar ever really made a movie like that before? They could. I mean, you could pull off a crop. It's very clear that the Pixar movies all take place in the same universe. Seriously, there's like a crazy, wild theory about that. You gotta look it up. It's really interesting. But they don't really specify at what time or what time period that Inside Out takes place. And yeah, San Francisco and, Toronto are both really far away from each other, but it's possible it could happen. So yeah, Turning Red, awesome movie. Like, favorite, check the subscribe button, follow me, so you can on YouTube. I'm very happy this video for all of you guys who are watching. Enjoy everything. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Remember, you don't have to talk to me as we get to Linda's right back. Take care and make good choices. Have a nice morning.